Good evening, folks, and welcome to tonight's Southwestern Conference rivalry match between the Collinsville K-Hawks and your Edwardsville Tigers. We're going to get things taken away with starting lineups really quickly. For EHS Broadcasting, I'm Zach Kennett. Thank you each and every one of you for tuning in. First now is Collinsville.
Welcome once again to Edwardsville High School. Here are tonight's starting lineups. First, for the K-Hawks from Collinsville. Junior, number 2, Chase Wilkinson. Senior, number 5, Jonathan Coates. Senior, number 22, Stanley Carnahan. Senior, number 24, Chase Reynolds. And senior, number 42, Solomon Tuttle. The K-Hawks enter tonight's game with an overall record of 15 wins and 14 losses, and are coached by Darren Lee. Tiger fans, get on your feet for your Edwardsville Tigers. Senior, number 1, Bryce Meyer. Senior, number 3, Herbert Martin. Junior, number 11, Micah Butler. Senior, number 21, Diosri Abenessa. And sophomore, number 23, Rowan Speller. The Tigers enter tonight's game with a record of 24 wins and 2 losses, and is coached by Dustin Bell.
So as the lights come up here in the Luco Jackson Gymnasium, the Tigers get hyped in the paint. And these purple K-Hawks, they know they have quite the game ahead of the last time these matched up. Edwardsville won by 4 in Collinsville, 45-41. Now in the LJ, the K-Hawks have the battle in front of them. Coming into this game, the Tigers 25-2, 10th in Illinois, 9-1, the first in the conference. Meanwhile, the K-Hawks 15-14, game above 500, 4-6. That's 4th in the Southwestern Conference, ranked 123rd in Illinois. Here's Talbot back. Now to Reynolds. Reynolds. Guarded by Martin, the Tiger Star. Carnahan looking for the dish. Reynolds, Martin tried to get in on it. Donovan Coates. Tiger fans, you might recognize him. And he says hello. 2-0 lead for Collinsville. Herb Martin leads the Tigers in scoring, 21.5 per game. That's 14th in the St. Louis area. Pryor. There's a turnover there. That's got to be frustrating, opening your first possession like that. Minute gone by, 2-0 lead. Reynolds. Over to Wilkinson. Wilkinson, the second leading scorer for these K-Hawks. Epinesa tried to get in on that pass. Still K-Hawk ball. Talbot. Wilkinson. The K-Hawk offense is how to pass to Donovan Coates. Trying to get Coates open. The three doesn't go. Pryor gets the board. Now he's hustling down the court. Coates is on him. Epinesa. Butler never met a three he did not like. That one doesn't go, but Martin gets the board. Pryor didn't shoot off the pick. Coates on Pryor. Slices. Cuts back. Rowan Weller. Herb Martin. Epinesa now the top of the key. Martin very selective with their shots here. Weller in the paint. Finds Epinesa. The reverse. That's a hard shot to make. Does not go. 5:45 to go in the first. Tiger frustration after that first possession. Coates. 18.8 a game. The three. It goes. Donovan Coates playing for more than record. He's got some pride on the line here. Martin. And another frustration there. Coach Battis. Still Tiger ball, but he is not pleased with the refs already. Epinesa. Weller. Epinesa. Twine. And they got him there. Another Tiger turnover. So 3 minutes gone by in this game. 2 shots, 2 misses for Edwardsville. While the K-Hawks have 5 from the field. It's important to know. Tigers come into this game with a 10-game win streak. They've won 3 straight against the purple and white. The team that has the 6th best record in Class 4A, ranked 9th in the class, 10th in the state. Still looking for those opening bucket. And the K-Hawks now a 7-0 lead. Martin dashes in. Acrobatics. Weller gets the board. Epinesa now. And a reverse. Tigers get on the board. Epinesa draws first blood for the orange and the black. Averages 9.3 a game. 61% from the field. Dominates in the paint. If the K-Hawk bigs don't have answers for Yosei, I mean, that just opens so many opportunities for Edwardsville. And there's a travel there. Coates was caught walking. And so the turnovers swing the other way. Tigers still down 5. 4 to go in the first. Pryor thought about the shot. Epinesa. Hand pass. Butler. Front rim. Epinesa Just had 3 K-Hawks on them, and now it's a fast break for Collinsville. They have to stop their momentum to wrangle that ball. Reynolds off the pass from Wilkinson. 3:30 to go in the first. Reynolds into the paint. Trouble with possession there. Try to sky hook there. Stanley Carnahan can't get it to go. Pryor. Oh no, that's a frustrating miss there. Excuse me, it was Butler shot that. Pryor now dashes into the paint. Puts some English on it. 7-4. Jace Wilkinson. 10.5 a game. Second on Collinsville with points. Volume shooter. Coates' shot does not go. Wilkinson for 3. It's good. 10-4. 2:40 to go. Weller. Epinesa. Martin. Epinesa spin foul. And K-Hawk coach Darren Lee livid with his players there. He's in shirt sleeves. And a tie coming straight out of the 1950s. So Epinesa will head to the line. 61% from the charity stripe. Chance to make it a 4 or 5 point game. First one goes. Dribbles. The senior. Hits every part of the rim and it's good. 10-6. Coates trying to slow things down a bit here for Collinsville. Weller gets picked. Tigers collapse, force Coates back out to the script. Carnahan. That's a travel there. Yeah, it's kind of sloppy there from Solomon Talbot. Stepping way too much in that paint. But that's the kind of presence that a guy like Jose Epinesa brings. Is if you can't move Jose, I mean, you're not going to feast in the paint. Butler, that one goes 10-9. Butler shoots 42% from beyond the arc, 1 for 3 tonight on perimeter attempts. Butler's just a fire away shooter, and when he is in his flow state, expect some phenomenal results. As after trailing 7-0, the Tigers back in it, down by 1. Minute 15 to go in the first quarter. Talbot. Correction, Carnahan. Coates. Covered by Weller. It's a turnover. Martin. Full head of steam. Spins. Whoa, goodness. Calls bank on that one. Acrobatics. Herb Martin here in this first quarter. Tigers take their first lead of the night, 11-10. Tigers on an 11-2 run. It's a Collinsville team that got hot early and just has not been able to keep it on the stove. 30 seconds. Martin. So fantastic. Epinesa. $14 seconds. Tigers want the last shot. Herb Martin. Carnahan gets a hand on it. Some substitutions here for Collinsville's number 12, Evan Wilkinson, comes in for Talbot. 5.5 on the clock. Tigers inbound. It'll be Rowan Weller. We'll see who the ball man for Edwardsville is. Battis calls his play. Martin. And there's a foul there. It's number 10, DeAndre Brown with the foul into Epinesa. Turnover, Coates heaves, bit too much on it, and the Tigers will go in to the second quarter with an 11-10 lead. Expected more dominance from Edwardsville to get things started here. We're pacing just about the same as we did in that last Collinsville game. We won 45-41. We're pacing for a 44-40 lead if things continue. And just a recap of this first half, Collinsville opened 7-0. Tigers stormed right back. 11-10. Your leading scorers for Edwardsville. Yosei with 4. Everybody else just has 1 bucket. For Edwardsville, Donovan Coates with 5. We knew that was going to be the biggest story coming into the night, was how Coates would fare in what I believe is his first game back to the Luco Jackson Gymnasium. We shout out a fantastic performance from our cheer squad, who just had a fantastic 4th place finish at state just a couple weekends ago. That is the 2nd highest finish in our competitive cheer program's history. Their 3rd highest point total. Fantastic work as always. Martin. Bryce Pryor. Lobs it in. Epinesa can't get the pass to Weller. He now can. Weller has to pass out, though. It's Evan Wilkinson and now DeAndre Brown. Brown, a point per game player. That's great on the rink, but on the court you want a bit better. And Martin just comes in a bit too hard on him. That'll be the first Tiger foul of the night. Martin, not really a guy we talk about. We talk about fouls. I mean, only 9 recorded this season, according to the dispatch. Again, not total scores, not scores from every game, but gives you a good ballpark. Foul is just not Martin's way of playing the game. Brown. Talbot. Struggling in the paint. And when you're up against Yosei Epinesa, you're just going to be suffocated. Pryor for 3. Yes! And a 14-10 orange and black lead. And that is the power of a team that can play post and perimeter like this. If you collapse on Yosei, they're just going to send guys like Pryor, guys like Butler, even Martin. He's more of a mid-range specialist. Either way, a team that can just threaten you with so many angles there as they get caught up there in a turnover. It's a foul on Bryce Pryor. Stop the fast break. We see Hill Lomax check in for Epinesa, catch his breath there. 14-10, 6:45 to go in this second quarter. Martin on Brown. Carnahan has to pass out. Carnahan again. Let's see how he challenges Lomax. He's double teamed. Brown in the coffin corner. Bit too much on it. It's a hard shot to make. Again, Brown. Again, no good. Hill Lomax battles for the board. And Hill Lomax, kind of been the story of this season, his discipline. His first foul, and he's only been on the court 1 possession. Brown to Evan Wilkinson. Coates, 5 points on the night. Started fantastically, but just like this Collinsville squad as a whole, struggling since the beginning of this game. Wilkinson, and you can see the Orange Rush section and the Tigers bench jawing at Wilkinson a bit there. Didn't like either the elbow or the travel. And now it'll be Martin heading to the line. Evan Wilkinson with the foul. Herb Martin from the line, shooting 75%. First one goes. You see Talbot check in for Wilkinson, who had the foul. Tigers have 3 fouls against, as Martin sinks both. A 16-10 lead, and this Collinsville squad that started so potent has been unable to solve the problem that is the Tigers' defense. Carnahan. Coates has to back out. Coates still looking. Pryor hounds him. Reynolds has to pass out. Carnahan. Talbot in the paint. Hill Lomax gets beat there. 5 to go in the second. Jayhawks get their first points of the quarter. Martin here looking to slow things down a bit. Trying to sap the Jayhawks of any momentum they might have gained. Hill Lomax. Oh no, 2 misses where he should have been able to lay it in. That's costly. Coates doesn't go. Hill Lomax answers with a rejection. Coates again. That one falls. 16-14 game. Martin will lead things up the court here. And an off-ball foul there for Micah Butler. And the Jayhawks now in the double bonus. Less than 4 minutes gone by in this second quarter. Epinesa back on the court for Hill Lomax. No substitution looking for Butler. Talbot. It's a steal. Epinesa. Now to Martin. Bryce Pryor. The shot won't count either way, as Solomon Talbot loses a shoe there. There's going to be a foul there as well. Jace Wilkinson. Tigers a 2-point lead. Collinsville plays this team close. Collinsville bounced Edwardsville out of the playoffs in 2023. Weller, the mid-range. That's a hard shot. Martin catches plenty of contact, and it falls. And one for the senior, Herb Martin. And the man who shoots 75% from the line, his 3rd attempt of the night. He's 2 for 2 so far to make it a 5-point game. Nothing but net for Herb Martin. 19-14. Reynolds still looking for his first points on the night. Evan Wilkinson the same. Talbot. Excuse me, Carnahan. Getting these bigs confused. Carnahan, just a tough look, and we said it all night so far. Yosei Epinesa, a paint presence. Can't think of many people in Illinois that can rival him there. Weller. Now to Herb Martin, the 3. In and out. Epinesa bats it out. Pryor hustles in. Bounce pass. Epinesa! Fantastic play there for Edwardsville. A dish out of the board and dish it right back in. 21-14 lead for Edwardsville as the Jayhawks will use their first timeout. They have 4 remaining. As we see the Edwardsville cheer squad once again And that's just an example of when this Tiger squad is on, they are on. There's a reason they are ranked as one of the best teams in the state of Illinois. They are ranked as the best team in the Southwestern Conference. And, I mean, when these guys are firing on all cylinders, I can't imagine there's a better team in Illinois. I mean, the only team really south of Chicagoland that rivals Edwardsville is the Quincy Blue Devils, and we're going to see them likely early in the playoffs there in that same sectional bracket as Edwardsville. Obviously, Quincy won the Edwardsville Regional last year, so we're just curious to see how things play out when Edwardsville has an even better squad. Of course, working for the school newspaper, some of my fellow writers and I have been able to talk to some of these Edwardsville players, really get a look into that locker room and look into that huddle. You know, what has made this year so much better than previous years? You know, this is a program that has had a great amount of success, but perhaps not always Edwardsvillian in terms of their dominance. And it's, you know, it's leadership for a lot of these guys. You know, they said last year perhaps didn't have that locker room presence. Now, this year, much better. This is a team that wants to win. They want to fight. There's a team that thought at one point, as Chase Reynolds hits front iron, Epinesa gets the board. And now it's Butler on the fast break, trying to do too much there with the layup. They're the team that was worried that they'd have to be playing at Lincoln this year after there were some gym floor concerns. They were able to postpone those gym floor issues until March, until the season's over. But there's a team that's rallied to, surprisingly, some might say, be so great. Pass deflected there. Wilkinson of the Evan variety. Now it's Donovan Coates. Weller dodges the pick. Coates can't beat his man. Has to shoot. Epinesa gets the board. And Coates, 7 points on the night. Half of this Chaotic output, but just like this Collinsville squad, some struggles. Evan Wilkinson. Epinesa gets in his face. And Orange Rush gets into him there. And with how this crowd isn't so populous tonight, given the cold, I think these Collinsville players can really hear Orange Rush, as it's a rough turnover there for Butler. Wilkinson the three. It goes. 21-17. A minute 20 to go in this second quarter. Martin. Tigers hold a 4-point lead. Martin. Let's see if the Tigers take this last possession. Herb Martin. Now it's Pryor. Hustles in, cuts back. The deep two, it goes. Nothing but net. Bryce Pryor, his 7th of the night. 23-17 lead. Pryor averages about 8 a night. Already ready to shatter that pace. Reynolds. Jace Wilkinson. At the logo, 30 seconds. See if the Chaotics get the last shot this quarter. Coates, they've backed him up to the baseline, to the half-court line. He's double-teamed, he's in trouble. That's a hard pass to make. Wilkinson, 20 seconds now, running in circles. Pryor pokes it free. Epinesa quarterbacks it. It's intercepted. Coates, 9 seconds, looking like recess out here. 6. Coates, a prayer. It'll be passed to Wilkinson. Epinesa gets in his face. Shot will not count. And the Edwardsville Tigers will go into the half with a 23-17 lead. For EHS Broadcasting, I'm Zach Kennett. We will see you in 10 minutes. Good evening, folks. We are back here at the top of the second half for EHS Broadcasting. I'm Zach Kennett. And folks, if you missed this first half, it's a tale of two teams. These first set of teams, Collinsville take a 7-0 lead. Since then, the Edwardsville Tigers on a 23-10 steamroll. And now they hold a 6-point lead as we get things started here in the third quarter. Martin and Pryor tied for the lead of Edwardsville, scoring 7 apiece. Coates leads Collinsville with 7. Pryor works in, passes out. See our cheer squad there on the baseline. Bit of a holding there, and there's a couple errors there. Oh my goodness. A reminder, folks, this is high school ball. As you saw, a hold turns into a trip, turns into a turnover, turns into a fast break pass, turns into another turnover. And now the Tigers once again with the ball, 7 to go in the third. Martin. And he'll get a foul there. Martin 3 for 3 from the line. A 75% shooter from the free throw line. Odds will say he misses it. But if you know me, you know I'm vehemently anti-analytics. And they're wrong there. 4 for 4, Herb Martin. Clutch Gene. 7-point lead, 7 to go. Four for 5, Herb Martin, unhappy about that. Reynolds. The only scoreless player for the K-Hawks on the floor right now, Chase Reynolds. Passes it to Coates. Coates, trouble. Reynolds, the open three. Way too direct of an arc. That hits front iron. Herb Martin. Working on Reynolds. Epinesa, Rowan Weller. Pryor, great cut in. Weller passes up the mid. Pryor for 3. It goes! A 10-point lead for Edwardsville. Bryce Pryor, 10 on the night. Well above his season average. Quick shot there for Jace Wilkinson. Does not fall. Weller crosses half court. Martin. Orange Rush laying in to these Collinsville K-Hawks. Bryce Pryor. Pryor. Back out to Martin. Spin around. Martin out. Butler does not go. And it's Solomon Talbot with the board. Reynolds. Talk about scoreless players in Reynolds. Rowan Weller, the Tiger, scoreless tonight, uncharacteristic for the starter. Wilkinson does not go, falls, no whistle. Martin, Pryor. Oh, in and out. Would have made it a 13-point lead. Oh, and that's physicality in the paint. And Micah Butler draws the charge. Stanley Carnahan, too physical there. And that's a way to get the student section on your side every time. A team first play like that. Micah Butler, phenomenal. And so now Herb Martin, slowing things down here in the Luke O. Jackson. Epinesa. Martin off the screen. Yes! 30-17, Herb Martin, one of the top scorers in the St. Louis area, the top scorer on this Tiger squad, the top scorer in the game tonight. He has 11. Reynolds switches up the dribble. Pryor, this man-to-man Tiger defense can be so suffocating. Wilkinson shoots off the screen, and another turnover for Collinsville. Martin, he hustles, lays it in, 32-17, a 15-point lead, and this is not the start at all that Collinsville wanted. Some more chaos of the paint, and now the K-Hawks get their first of the third quarter, 32-19. This is a Tiger squad that has taken over here in the third. And Rowan Weller still seeking his first bucket. In, Weller, that's a hard shot. Puts it back up. Rowan Weller on the board. Collinsville, timeout. And the Tigers, bright orange tonight. They are in fuego. 3 to go in the third quarter. We're serenaded by the notorious Big IGs, hypnotized. 15-point lead, 34-19. This is a Tiger squad that comes into this game 10 straight wins, moving in totally perpendicular directions with these K-Hawks, who are 2-3 in their last 5, barely keeping their heads above water at 15-14, 4-6 in the conference. Meanwhile, this Tigers squad 9-1 in the Southwestern Conference. Their only loss at Alton, who they recently beat at home in a thriller just 3-4 weeks ago. These K-Hawks look hypnotized by this fantastic Tiger offense. We saw the Edwardsville Tigers start off a bit cold, but ever since the start of the second quarter, just white hot. Some shout outs, of course. Our Edwardsville hockey team opens their playoffs against East Alton, I believe. That's just happening across the street, across Tiger Drive at the RP Lumber Center. We'll see if these students, after packing the house here, will go over to the hockey rink. Coates will head to the line. Orange Rush disagrees, but they're not wearing stripes. Coates leads the K-Hawks in free throw percentage, 79.7%. 110 for 138 attempts. Makes his first. 34-20 now. Coates, his second, just as good. 13-point lead now for Edwardsville. Again, this is a K-Hawk squad. Started this game hot, 7 straight, but even a run like that would only have the deficit. Herb Martin, 13 on the night. So we see Tucker Linsett for the first time tonight. Epinesa! And we don't have an answer for Yosei in the boards. You have to cover him. He lays in the 2 there. When you don't have an answer for Yosei, you send more defenders in. Herb Martin with the steal. Oh, and he has trouble there putting it up as there is a whistle. We'll see who it's on. Collinsville will inbound. Coach Dustin Battis not happy with that call. As I was saying, when you have a guy like Yosei in the paint, you have to send 2 defenders on. That opens up so many opportunities on the perimeter. And when you think of teams like, the 2014 Spurs that just had that great ball movement, huge reason for that. Great center play. Tigers have the possession arrow. They'll inbound here. 15-point Edwardsville lead once again. 2 to go in the third. Pryor. Epinesa gets fouled. Shot doesn't count either way. Martin to inbound. Curious what the play is here. Got two bigs in Linset and Epinesa. Ball goes to Epinesa. Now goes to Linset. Butler steps on the baseline there, or at least the ball hits the sideline. Be K-Hawk ball. That deficit has not shrunk. Last time these teams played, Edwardsville won by 4. Now Edwardsville is up by 15. Carnahan over to Reynolds, who still doesn't have a bucket. Jace Wilkinson. Coates. Tries to work miracles with that layup. Does not go. 5-on-3 now for Edwardsville. Pryor to Linset. 4-3. And that's an air ball. Butler over to Martin. Again for 3. Might be a little light in the Tigers' eyes there in that coffin corner. 2 rough shots. Epinesa tries to go in for a steal. 45 to go in the third. And there's a foul there on the floor on Bryce Pryor. Off ball there. Pryor, his second foul of the night. Can't imagine they're going to be subbing him out though. Just want to shout out, just checked into the live stream. 100 viewers in the chat. Thank you each and every one of you for tuning in. Epinesa gets a hand on it, but that's a whistle. And Coach Battis, someone check his blood pressure, not happy with that. 102 viewers in the live stream chat. Thank you very much, each and every one of you, for tuning in here at EHS Broadcast. We try to do best by your student athletes, make every stream better than the last. Feel free to comment in our live chat. Again, I'll be checking periodically, so if you guys have any fun facts or maybe something I've missed so far in this game, love to hear from you. Some substitutions here. Linset swaps with Weller. Coates from the line, a 14-point game. (36-23). 40 seconds. Martin to Weller. Tigers taking the time. K-Hawks play man-to-man. They are spread out. Pryor, 15 seconds. He's in trouble at the baseline. Gotta watch the backcourt. Pryor sprints in. Pass to Epinesa. It's loose. K-Hawk ball. 5 seconds. Coates catches a body. And it's going to be a blocking foul there. 2.2 to go in the third. A catch and shoot situation. The foul on Weller. Reynolds. Coates. The shot. It falls. And so going into the fourth quarter, these Collinsville K-Hawks try to decrease that deficit a little bit. Still down by 10 with 8 to go so far. Pryor and Martin just been so fantastic, 10 and 13 respectively. As Zach Kennett here for EHS Broadcasting step aside briefly, hand it over to our EHS cheer squad. Both teams come back out at the start of this fourth quarter. Coming into the third, it was a 23-17 game. Now it's 36-26. Collinsville scored 9 points in that third. Donovan Coates had 7 of them. Coates now at 14, leads by far this K-Hawk squad in scoring over half the points. Coates has to pass out there. Reynolds. Carnahan. Wilkinson the 3. Does not go. Wilkinson, one of 2 K-Hawks on the floor. Still looking at a couple of zeros by their names, or their numbers at least, up there on the scoreboard. Evan Wilkinson, 0 points. Chase Reynolds, a starter with 0 points. So 7:30 to go in this fourth quarter in a game where every point counts. Collinsville struggles in their first possession. Weller. Epinesa in the paint. Great move there, but it's a travel. Orange Rush disagrees. 7:20 now to go in this fourth. It's kind of a Revolutionary War situation where any draw on a possession for the Tigers is a win for Edwardsville, as they just need to land the plane at this point. Carnahan, his shot no good. Wilkinson runs in for the board, passes out to Jace. Wilkinson hits front iron. And Donovan Coates gets a bit too elbowy there, and they're going to head the wrong way. Prior to inbound to Martin. Reynolds will check out for DeAndre Brown. For Martin. Weller, 6:40 to go in the fourth. Epinesa. The 3 for Butler. Does not go. He's been rather cold tonight. Epinesa, it's still Tiger ball. And they're going to call a backcourt by the looks of it. Although, folks, you have the right as a YouTube viewer to see instant replay. We can't provide that, but if you just hit double tap on the left side of your screen, you can rewind 10, 20 seconds, and you can make the call for yourself. Either way, Tigers still have a 10-point lead. 6:20 to go now in the fourth. Brown sprints in, lays it up for 2. 8 points, 6 minutes. Bryce Pryor. Epinesa hands off to Weller, who passes out to Pryor. Doesn't like the shot, dribbles in, a reverse. A fantastic move there from Bryce Pryor to make it a 38-28 game. Edwardsville calls a timeout. Pryor, 12 points on the night, still the second of any Edwardsville player. Martin has 13. So it's 2 points apiece in this fourth quarter. Both teams slowing things down. Edwardsville happily doing so, but the K-Hawks, who are down by so much, 10 points now, you gotta be looking for quick scores, as well as quick stops. It'll be Edwardsville ball from their defensive baseline. correction. K-Hawk ball. Mighty. Reynolds. Carnahan. Brown to Carnahan. Brown thought about the deep three. Martin working on him. Reynolds, the shot. He gets on the board. Chase Reynolds shoots the three. Reynolds shoots 30% from beyond the arc. 15 for 50 now. 16 for 50 something. Haven't been tracking his attempts so far tonight. Weller. 5 to go. Epinesa. Seven-point game off the three ball. Tigers bleeding clock, and with no shot clock, no reason to hustle for a shot. Just make Collinsville force something. Pryor. Fantastic layup once again, Bryce Pryor. 14 points. Coates, the prayer doesn't go. Carnahan gets the board. Reynolds, again the three, does not go this time. Butler gets the board. Again, when you see that Pryor layup, again, so much versatility in this Tiger offense. The guys like Butler and Pryor happy to shoot the long ball. Epinesa in the paint. Again, Martin and Pryor from mid and from under the basket, their layups like that. 9-point lead for Edwardsville. Bryce Pryor. Still Tiger ball, 3:53. Cheerleaders chanting, be aggressive. But if I'm Coach Battis, I'm telling my players, slow down. Don't pass unless you have to. Bryce Pryor. Epinesa. Great look there to Martin. Dribbles in. Can't get it to go. It'll be K-Hawk ball there. 3:35 now. Tigers still bleeding plenty of clock as the K-Hawks are down 9. And they need to solve the problem that has been vexing them all game, save for those first couple of minutes. How to get through this Tiger defense. And with an air ball like that, that's neither going to help you on the scoreboard or in your mind, as Orange Rush is happy to lay into him there. Butler, wide open. 11 points now, 3 to go. As we see Evan Wilkinson check in at the scorer's table, for whom, not sure. And a timeout there for Collinsville. And Coach Darren Lee is going to have some very interesting decisions to make here. As folks, the PA who's running the aux is getting extra hype now with these, suppose we call them jock jams. Refs break up the huddles. They'll tell them they got to break them up soon. And this K-Hawks team has to start it up soon. Or pretty soon, their bus is going to be starting up. And they're going to be heading down 159. Chase Reynolds. Inbounds it. Back to Reynolds. Passes up the shot. Evan Wilkinson. Wilkinson. Dribble knocked out. Reynolds. K-Hawks not moving quickly. Wilkinson, that's a tough shot. Rolls over the iron. Now Edwardsville on the fast break. It's Martin. Passes out. Pryor thought about the three. Instead, the floater. No good. 2:17 on the clock now. Still an 11-point deficit for Collinsville. Reynolds, the three. And all night long, his shot arcs have just been so small. Would really help him, I think, to get that launch angle up. Because right now it looks like he's just kind of throwing it at the rim, and that's not a recipe for success, especially from range. Martin lays it in. Finger roll, Herb Martin, 44-31. And now it looks like any Collinsville answer to that vexing question will be too little, too late. As they have just under 100 seconds now. Into Carnahan, loses it. Herb Martin, will he go for it? The whistle there, Martin, 15 points on the night. He will be heading to the line for 16, maybe 17. Martin 4 for 5 from the line tonight, 75% this season. First one falls, 5 for 6 now. Second one goes, 7 for 8. It's 87%, much above his season average. Coates, pass out to Wilkinson. Shot, falls, 46-34. It'll be a timeout, a full timeout called by Collinsville. Looks like Rowan Weller getting ready to come into the game. We check in the live stream chat. 100 viewers, thank you very much for tuning in. For EHS Broadcasting, I'm Zach Kennett. If you're an Edwardsville fan or even a Collinsville fan, drop in and subscribe. Even though our girls and boys basketball seasons are wrapping up, make sure to check in for our baseball season. Will be happening in a couple months. Obviously I love calling baseball. It got me started here at EHS Broadcasting. I'm very excited to be calling games this year for the best baseball program in the state of Illinois, in your Edwardsville Tigers. Led by guys like Joe Shiroto, Lucas Krebs. Be very interesting to see what they can do on the field. But right now we're talking about what's on the court, and what's on the court is a 12-point lead for Edwardsville, 46-34, 73 seconds on the clock. Following the timeout, Edwardsville will inbound. And Collinsville has 3 more fouls before free throws. Pryor is open. Collinsville's not pressing him yet. Thought about just sprinting by Brown there. Pryor. Double teamed, turns it over. Minute to go, 12 points. Wilkinson, the 3, does not go. 2 Tigers there for the board. Butler comes down with it. 50 seconds. Herb Martin, 17 points on the night. Believe it or not, a below average performance for him. Averages 21.5 a game. Collinsville, no interest in fouling. 30 seconds. Martin dishes. Jose Epinesa hits double digits on the night. Coates. Epinesa with the rejection, and he passes it straight to the referee. 16 seconds on the clock. And folks, not to speak too soon, but these Edwardsville Tigers will increase their 10-game winning streak to 11. Collinsville Jayhawks will go to 500 on the season, narrowly avoid the backcourt there. Your Edwardsville Tigers will move to 26-2 on the season, 10-1 in the Southwestern Conference, while Collinsville goes to 15-15, 4-7 overall. Looks like Edwardsville will sweep the regular season set against the Collinsville Jayhawks home and home. First win was 45-41 in Collinsville. This one looks to be in the neighborhood of 48-34, much larger deficit. Speaks to the way this team has just turned it around. I mean, started out so hot, but going into conference play, the tough Southwestern Conference has just been so fantastic. As it looks like we'll be able to see, we'll be able to say Michael Donald's first name for the first time tonight. There's Donald, also checking in Carter Wisenan. And that'll do it here in Edwardsville. A fantastic win for Edwardsville. Martin with 17, Pryor with 14, Epinesa with 10. And your Collinsville Jayhawks, perhaps not your Collinsville Jayhawks, just 34 points. Donovan Coates leads with 14 as we're serenaded by Illinois Loyalty for EHS Broadcasting. I'm Zach Kennett. Thank you very much for tuning in. We will see you next time.